Hello and welcome everybody to the Every Country Podcast. This is our first episode. We are very new to it, so
and
we
excited.
don't really know what to do yet. But
Well, we do, and we have a plan. But first episodes are obviously going to be just introduction, and we have a few ideas.
I
in
have
mind.
been on podcasts before, but it's my first time actually hosting a podcast.
Is it different? I've never been on one, so I don't know if it's.
Usually, when you're on a podcast, you kind of have someone who takes you through the process, and now I feel like I have to organize the process with you because you don't get anything done.
All right, thank you. No.
Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the challenges of traveling to every country on the planet. We both obviously have the same goal, that is visiting every country on the planet.
Yeah. Although you have a little more time pressure.
Yeah, that's true. I'm also trying to become the youngest man to visit every country in the world. So I still have a year, more or less.
Is it a year?
Yeah, something like 8 months, 9 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was more.
I have quite some time.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but basically, so we both basically have the same goal. So we were like, well, why not start a podcast, the Every Country Podcast? Right. And naturally, for the first episode, we thought, why not talk about the challenges of traveling to every country? Because I've now been to 190 countries.
Yeah, I've been to 113. So
113.
So I don't know how much that is in percent, but I think 60% or so.
Yeah,
something like that.
More than halfway through.
More than half, yeah. But a lot more still to go than 5. You only have the 5. I don't want to say hardest countries, but 5 challenges, yeah.
I always get the question, which countries do you have left and how many do you have left? Well, I have 5 left, and the countries are Libya, Sudan, Mali, North Korea, and Palau.
Yeah. Why Palau?
Because I just left Palau. I wanted to leave
so
Palau.
random.
I didn't want it to be something like Sudan, I want to go to my last country with some friends, with you maybe, if you're kind to me. I wanted to take my family and just celebrate a bit in the country. I didn't want it to be something like Sudan,
Yeah.
So I felt like I wanted to leave that for my last country.
It's funny because I think almost every person has a country in mind that they want to keep for the last country. In my case, it's New Zealand. I want to keep New Zealand as the final step.
Isn't that really difficult to keep New Zealand as the last one?
Maybe because it's kind of a hub down there, right?
It's a hub in Oceania.
Yeah.
Can you even visit every country without going to New Zealand?
Yes, we definitely can, even standby. So even with our standby flights, it's possible. But of course, you have to have a plan B if you can't, if you really want to avoid Auckland. It's kind of difficult. So you have limited options, but it is possible. No, you can always like Brisbane is the second big hub, as you know, right?
Brisbane.
Yeah, quite a lot. Yeah.
Because when I did Oceania, I went from Auckland, I think, to Samoa, and then back to Auckland, and then to Tonga.
Exactly.
So it really is a hub down there.
Yeah. No, but it's all. I checked it. As of a couple of months ago, it's definitely possible to just leave it out. But
and you haven't even been to Australia, have you?
I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. No, after I left Fiji, I went to Sydney.
Oh, right. Yeah. So give me an overview, which kind of countries are you still missing and which regions have you not traveled to?
Right. So I'm completely done with all the Americas. Then in Europe, it's only Belarus that's missing, but I'm probably going to do that next month or so. Or now that I have time in November, I might go in November. I don't know. And then, we've seen a few countries in Oceania together. Those are all that I've seen, which were
Marshall
Islands, Micronesia, Nauru, Kiribati, Fiji, Australia.
Yeah.
Is that all?
Yeah, we didn't do Australia together.
That's true. I went alone. But and then I've seen pretty much all of the Middle East except for Jordan and Iran.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, these 2 are missing. And I think
never been to Jordan. That's crazy.
No, it's like one.
It's
a big hole. I know.
It's a touristy place as well. A lot of people visit
that's
Jordan.
True. Yeah, no, Jordan is the tourist place that everyone goes that I haven't been to yet. Also Morocco, but I'm going there next month. I think that's it. I've seen a bit of Africa, but Southern Africa, only Easy Africa.
Yeah.
The hardest African country that I've been to is probably Kenya, which is level 2. I don't know how many levels there are. I don't know, but it's Kenya is not. It's not like Africa. And I've only been with the company, so we stayed in fancy hotels, so I haven't really experienced Kenya.
As a quick explainer, Philipp works as a flight attendant for Discover Airlines.
Right.
So he goes to the nice places. He goes to all the beach destinations. He has a very nice life.
That's true. Yeah, I work at an airline, which is we do all the tourist destinations within the Lufthansa group. So, of course, there are other airlines, for example, Brussels. If you work there, you have quite a few not so nice destinations to go to, right? As
Liberia, Sierra Leone.
Yeah, I'm sorry for them. But no, we have all the nice places that all the German or European tourists that go to. So
which countries do you fly to typically?
Mostly North America. So we have a lot of destinations in the United States. Canada also. We do fly to Cancun. In the winter months, we also do a lot of the Caribbean. So Martinique, Punta Cana, La Romana, Barbados. We go to Montego Bay. Yeah, these places.
And you do like Mauritius and stuff.
Right,
as well,
and
Maldives.
Exactly. And the last part is like Africa. So we have Namibia or Windhoek, Victoria Falls, Zanzibar, Mombasa, the Kilimanjaro, Mauritius, and Maldives. It's not Africa, but yeah.
Now, all of those countries are places that are not that difficult to visit. No. They're generally very open to tourists.
Exactly. Even Kenya, some people that that colleagues of mine took on a work trip, they had to apply for a visa, and they were like, wow, the Kenya visa is really difficult to get. And I'm like, no, it's just you go online, fill out a form, pay a fee, and that's it, But it's because usually people with a German passport, they don't need a visa for any country, So if they have to fill out a form to get to Kenya and pay $35 or something, it's a hassle for them,
Yeah, no, makes sense. So let's talk about the countries that are actually really difficult to visit. Let's start with the countries that I also have left. So I actually recently got my Mali visa, which was exciting. So exciting. Yeah. It took me months, literally. I was at the embassy and I was like, hey, can you get me a visa, please?
Please.
I really want to go to Mali. And they were like, yeah. I was like, how long does it take? They're like, no idea. We're going to send it to Bamako, to the officials. It needs to be approved and everything.
Yeah.
And then I didn't hear from them for like a month, 1.5 months. And I was like, well, I don't think anything will have happened. And I had to buy flights for it,
Right.
So I had to buy flights for them. But the craziest thing happened. And like, what was it? I think it was which airline flies there even?
I don't know.
Some Senegalese low-cost airline that I bought the flights with to Bamako. And then they actually got cancelled and I didn't get my visa on time. Oh, yeah. So I got the refund. Yeah. I would have lost like 400 euros, but I got the refund.
I remember that. Yeah, you told me. Yeah, I remember you telling me, you don't want to lose the 400 euros. You have to somehow get the visa before the flights. And if not, you're going to try it in Senegal, or what was the plan for a little while? But in the end, the flights got cancelled and you got your money back. And,
it was amazing. I had so much luck. And then actually, I basically forgot about the visa then. And I was like, well, they just didn't process it, or it wasn't accepted or something. But then after like another 1.5 months, they rang me and I was like in the process of canceling my residency in Germany, of like saying bye. I left the country and they called me and they were like, your visa, yeah, we have some questions. They called me in French, my French sucks. So I answered and I was like, c'est accepté, is it accepted? And they were like, yeah, of course. I started jumping. I was so happy. I was like, holy shit, I'm only missing 5 countries. That's 20% of what I'm missing.
Yeah.
Where I now have access to, basically.
Right.
And I still haven't been to Mali now, but I'm going next month, inshallah.
Inshallah. You have a plan already? Like a date in mind?
Not really. The thing is, the flights are so expensive. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, I first have to probably go to either Tunisia or to Senegal, and then
you can come to Senegal with Giannis and I.
When are you going?
I don't know. I don't know right now, but it's like middle of October. But then you'd have to, I don't know. We're doing like the whole West Africa thing, so it's probably not very interesting.
What is your itinerary? Tell me.
Well, we're flying to Marrakesh on like the 11th or so, and then just head downwards. Head south.
Through Western Sahara, Mauritania.
Yes. We do have, like, Giannis just booked a flight last night from Marrakesh to somewhere in, I think it's Western Sahara. I don't remember. Dakhla, yeah.
Dakhla. You fly to Dakhla? Why, Habibi?
Because it's just
you can take the bus.
It's 20 euros more expensive than the bus, and the flight is 2 hours. The bus is 23 hours.
Yeah, I took the bus, Habibi, like a real traveler.
You're the real traveler. No, we're the comfortable
business peasants. They are.
Exactly.
I'm telling you.
Business. Yeah, no, really. Like the comfort is more important in this case.
What do you guys think? Watchers. Do you think you should take the bus?
Okay, but I have to say, like, the main reason I want to take the flight is because of my height. I remember taking the bus in Kazakhstan. I don't know how long it was, but it was the whole night, like 13, 14 hours or so. And you know, legroom was non-existent. It was not Ryanair economy. It was less, like half of Ryanair economy. You know,
Traveling is a bit more difficult when you're over 2 meters tall, isn't it? I'm quite short, you know, so I fit in everywhere. Usually when there's a free seat, it's like business class.
So if it were like a train, you know, where you can walk around and everything, no problem. You know, I take a 23-hour train, no problem. I remember talking. Do you remember when we went to Bhutan and we actually talked about taking the train through India?
Yeah.
You know, that was something I would have wanted. You know, that would have been nice, but not through Western Africa on a bus, 23 hours. I don't know. I know. I prefer the flight.
Fun fact, I was actually thinking of taking a 23-hour bus from Dakar, Senegal, because it's not that expensive to fly there, and then to Bamako. But then I recognized maybe it's not the best idea.
Maybe it's not. I don't know what's going on.
So the thing that I'm quite afraid with traveling in West Africa is the rainy season. You know, because the rainy season is right now. So that means that you're going to have lots more mosquitoes in the next month, like when I go there. And
you're right, yeah.
Malaria is one thing that I really don't want to get. Like, people always ask me, are you not afraid to go like to Papua New Guinea or to all those weird places? And honestly, I'm way more afraid to get like malaria or some
That's an interesting statement. I don't even know. The thing is, I don't know too much because I haven't been to Africa much. I haven't really digged into or done any research about these, you know, like dengue fever and malaria and whatever's over there. I don't know. I know it's dangerous, but I don't know. I think I don't know enough to be actually afraid of it yet. You know, so I'd be more afraid of going to PNG. Yeah. But it's an interesting statement that you say you're more afraid of going to, you know, Africa, like in the rainy season.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
So basically I was thinking, should I take the bus from Senegal to Bamako and just fly to Dakar really cheap and then cross the border?
Yeah.
But then also Mali isn't exactly the most stable country at the moment. So I was like, maybe it's not a good idea. Maybe I should just fly in. I actually have contacts. I have circus contacts in Bamako, so it shouldn't be too difficult. But let's skip to the next country. So I'm missing Mali. We talked about Palau. I'm leaving this for last. Then North Korea, the big one. Let's talk about North Korea.
North Korea is amazing.
Everyone wants to talk about North Korea.
Right. And we still haven't been. It's been closed for 4 years now.
Since COVID. They're still closed because of COVID.
Right. Officially, which is kind of like a silly argument at the moment.
Yeah.
I think. Or is there anything? I don't know.
But they're opening up again.
That is true. December. In December, we're going.
I saw this New Year's tour, and I really want to go and spend New Year's in North Korea.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Imagine being on the square, and they have like all the fireworks and the celebrations.
Do they have the same calendar as we do? Yeah.
They have like New Year's parties.
That's amazing.
It's insane. I really want to go. I'm
crazy.
so desperate. So I really hope that they open up in the beginning of December so that I can like comfortably go at the end of December.
Yeah.
Because if they open like towards the end, it might not even be possible because the tour starts like.
But I heard there's a long waiting list of people that want to go, right? Is there not?
I hope there's not.
Or maybe we can use our contacts. I don't know.
Our contacts, yeah. Fun fact: I actually know people in North Korea because I performed at the Chinese Circus Festival.
Oh, you're right.
You told me. So there was a delegation, and we spent 3 weeks with artists from North Korea. They won gold at the Circus Festival. They're like insane. They're like beyond human. It's insane.
That is crazy.
So they won gold at the Circus Festival, and we spent 3 weeks with them, and they know how to drink. It's crazy. Like North Koreans, they have a culture, drinking culture. They drink so much beer. And we were in this super fancy Chinese hotel, and we had like buffets and everything.
Yeah.
And every night we were dancing with them. One of the most beautiful moments that I remember from this trip, someone had their birthday on that night, and someone started singing like "Happy Birthday" in English, you know. And then someone picked it up. I think it was like the Argentinians that sang in Spanish, like their Happy Birthday song, and then we joined in like in German, all the German people, and then it went like around and around, and all of a sudden the North Koreans were singing their Happy Birthday song in North Korean.
That's crazy. So they have like the same melody and everything.
In Korean, but with the North Korean dialect. It was insane.
That's awesome.
It was so fun.
Awesome.
It was so fun.
I was just wondering, do they speak English? Do they speak English? No, probably not. Right.
We had to have like translator chains. So from Northern Korean to Chinese, and then our translator translated from Chinese to English.
That's crazy.
So
that makes sense because I can imagine. But because my thinking was the people that go to these conventions or whatever in a different country, they are probably very privileged people in North Korea. You know, they're not like the average the average citizen.
Because in a way, they represent North Korea to the outside world.
Yeah.
You know, they're artists, they're amazing, they're insane. Like the North Korean circus is crazy what they're capable of doing. So they are very privileged. I mean, they can leave the country, they represent their country, they go to China, they perform at all those crazy places. It was really fun. And I actually got a business card from North Korea with a phone number that I obviously can't call because I don't have a North Korean SIM. But at least I have the business card. So who knows? Maybe I go there to Pyongyang and I'm like, I want to call you, my friend.
Friend, we met a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
That's
literally,
awesome.
literally. Then what more do I have left? So we talked about Palau, North Korea, Mali, then Libya and Sudan.
Yeah, Libya is a mystery, I feel like.
Libya is a mystery. They recently introduced the e-visa.
Right, but it doesn't work, or what?
I applied for it.
Yeah.
And it never got processed. It didn't even say it didn't get approved. It just said processing. Pending. Literally says pending to this day. I paid $64. It was the biggest scam that I've ever faced.
Yeah, so business idea for anyone, just offer Libya e-visas, right? And then just say it's pending.
And fun fact, I actually thought, okay, it was just me. Maybe my application didn't really get processed. Maybe other people had successes with it. And some people did in the beginning. But then I spoke to some other travelers and they had the same issue. Like one of our friends, Arjun, he also applied. And
he never got processed?
Never got a reply either.
Wow.
So it seems like now we have to go to the embassy, which is not that bad because now I have my residency here in the UAE. And I think it's a bit easier to do it here in Dubai.
Do they allow tourists in at the moment? Because I remember the video of, from Drubinski, you know Drubinski's video probably, right? When he said, he had to fake his business, whatever, to actually enter the country because tourist visas are just non-existent over there. Is that still the case? Or can you apply for a tourist visa?
I think they do allow tourists in. It's just not as easy. So you no longer have to pretend that you have a business. But it's still quite difficult. So you have to organize a tour, and then even once you have the tour organized, they need to apply for tons of different permits, and you cannot even travel within the country. So if you go to Tripoli, for example, and then you want to go to a different city, any city, you need to have a permit for you to be able to leave Tripoli.
Wow, okay.
So there's lots of different permits. That's why it's very, very difficult to visit Libya alone as a solo traveler, as a backpacker. There are some people that have somehow managed, but it's quite difficult, I think. So that's why I haven't been to Libya yet. It's a bit of a mystery box. I hope I can go soon, but at least it's possible. It's
good,
possible. To
I remember the times when countries were absolutely off limits. For example, Saudi Arabia. I was thinking about Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
You remember when it was completely closed? There was no way of getting in, and then suddenly in 2019, I think they had a new crown prince or something a couple of years before, and they opened up everything. Yeah. Now they had a tourist e-visa,
and now it's the easiest place to visit.
Now it's so easy to go there. Yeah. You can have a lot of.
It's valid for a year, I think, something crazy, or half a year.
A year. Yeah. And they do everything to make tourism attractive in the country. When before they were completely closed, they were super anti whatever. Yeah. And now it's super easy. Yeah.
I love those countries that open up, that want to welcome tourists. It's amazing. I think it only.
Yeah, similar here. The UAE. What was it a couple of decades ago? It was nothing. Yeah. And now they're doing everything to get foreigners in.
Yeah. No, I think it makes a lot of sense for a country. Talking about closed countries, the last country that I'm missing, Sudan. Yeah, Sudan is one of those countries that's just impossible at the moment. They're sadly in a terrible civil war.
Yeah. I remember flying over Sudan just a year ago or so when I came back from Mauritius. You could actually see the city of Khartoum and everything, and it was awesome. And then just a few weeks later, it wasn't possible. Now we don't fly over Sudan anymore. If you fly somewhere in Eastern Africa from Europe, if you have a flight, you always have this big. You always have to fly over Saudi Arabia, which is not a very short way. It always costs you 30, 40 minutes or so.
Why do you have to fly over Saudi Arabia? You have to fly over Saudi Arabia.
Right. Yeah, because you can't do Africa because Libya is closed, Sudan is closed. You'd have to fly west of all those countries, or just to Saudi Arabia, which is only half an hour or so longer. To Mombasa. Flying from Frankfurt to Mombasa, it's half an hour that you add to the flight time just because Sudan is closed.
Yeah, we were trying to get a humanitarian visa for Sudan.
Did you try actually?
No, we were chatting with some like ambassadors in different places, and we were trying to do this like project to get like water filters into the country, basically.
Water filters.
Yeah,
Really? I remember
like there was this. It's not actually a joke. Like it's really interesting because there's this like organization basically that produces those water filters, and we wanted to get them like via land from Egypt into Sudan because it would genuinely benefit the people, and we were trying to get like a humanitarian visa. And do like a project there, also for us to be able to visit the country. You know, it's the only way in. But then the ambassadors told us they don't even issue humanitarian visas at the moment.
Oh, they don't? I thought,
Unless you're like part of a huge organization, like if you're high up in the UN, then yes, they will. But there's hardly anyone. Like there's no real reporters in Sudan. There's no like humanitarian organizations that are not like part of the UN or something. It's so difficult to enter the country. And it made us quite sad, you know, because we have a lot of followers all combined, like the group that we were. We would have done like a huge fundraiser. You know, it surely would have benefited someone in Sudan. You know, and then it's so sad that it's like, no, like we just don't issue any visas, you know. I feel like it's taking away a possibility of really doing like good.
Oh yeah, of course. But of course they don't know who you guys are. You know, I think it kind of makes sense, but it's, of course, sometimes the individual situations, they don't play out well. I don't know what reasons they have to not issue visas at all. You know, it's just, maybe they're just, I don't know, overloaded with work, or I don't know if there's people even working there. Maybe they don't even have people working at the embassies. Because
they do. I've been to many Sudanese embassies.
Okay.
The funny story. I showed up at the Sudanese embassy in Brussels, and I was like, "Is it possible to get a tourist visa or visit visa?" I think I said, and they were like, "Which city do you want to visit? Juba?" I was like, "Nah, I've been there. I want to go to Khartoum or to Port Sudan. You know, I want to go to Sudan. You know, not South Sudan. We're talking about Sudan." They're like, "No chance."
But it's funny that they assume you were at the wrong embassy.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy. It just gives you a perspective of like how unlikely it is that someone wants to visit that country at the moment. And it's really sad. And then where was that? I kid you not, in Eritrea, I went to the Sudan embassy.
Really?
In Eritrea, I went to the Sudan embassy in Asmara. And they were really friendly. And I sat down there and I was like, "Hey, yeah, I want to get a visit visa. What are you doing? Where are you from?" And then the ambassador was like calling to the receptionist, and he asked like, "Yeah, where is he from? Which passport does he hold?" And I was like, "This is looking good." You know, like they're asking about me, like not immediately saying no. And then I was like, "Well, I'm German. I have a German passport. I want to get a visit visa." And I said, "Sorry, it's not possible at the moment. You have to wait until the war's over."
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, in short, there's no way for me to visit Sudan.
Right. But this is the only absolute no country.
Yeah.
Right. So all the others
given
are
that
possible.
North Korea will open up,
Exactly.
it's possible.
Yeah.
And obviously, we hope for everyone involved that the war will end soon in Sudan. It's a terrible civil war. You know, it would feel really weird as well to travel there at the moment because it's really quite.
I don't know what the situation is, to be honest.
It's really messy, and that's the thing. You don't hear much.
You don't hear about it.
It's really sad. You know, like.
There's so much going on in all different parts of the world. You don't really hear about it. You know, even like Yemen is another example.
Yemen, all those lost crises in the world, you don't hear about it. And like Sudan is like one of the worst humanitarian like crises at the moment in the world. And people, when they talk about Sudan, they're like, "What is this place?" You know, they have no idea, and it's really sad. I don't know. I feel like it would help getting some people and sharing a bit about it. You know.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
I think it would
always does.
Help the situation probably.
Yeah, but
very difficult. Do you know that one girl that cycled all the way from Egypt to South Africa? She's called @NoFlomo on Instagram.
I don't know the name, but
such
an
inspiration.
Story,
and
I think.
She's crazy. She cycled all the way, and she left Sudan like a week before the war.
Really?
broke out.
Wow.
Yeah. Like if she had stayed like 1 or 2 weeks longer, it would not really have even been possible to leave the country. Because she entered from it was really difficult because they closed like all the borders, you know, because a lot of people were then like fleeing and like packing their things. There's huge refugee crises. You know, I was in Chad, for example. I met a reporter in Chad that was going to the Chadian border with Sudan, filming like for the BBC there and for her like series like about the refugee crisis there, because there's a lot of Sudanese people fleeing from Sudan going to Chad, And obviously she couldn't enter Sudan, but there's a lot of refugees, that's why Egypt as well has been like tightening their borders, because they don't want all the refugees, but it's crazy. So that lady, she was cycling, and a week after she left Sudan, the war broke out, and then it was really difficult to leave the country. And her stories were so delayed that she was posting while the war was still there, and she always posted those disclaimers like, guys, I'm no longer here, like, don't worry about me, I'm fine. Focus on the issue, yes, but don't worry about me.
That is crazy.
I left the country.
That is crazy. But was it easy for her to get the visa? Do you know that?
It wasn't particularly easy, but like it wasn't an easy visa. You still had to like go to an embassy and stuff, but it wasn't that difficult, especially if you applied for it in Cairo. I think it was like the easiest. And I heard that it's also possible in the south, like in Aswan. I think in the south of Egypt, I think they have a consulate, and I think you can get your visa there. I'd have to look it up, but
yeah. But let's see what the situation is after it opens up again. I think it's probably going to be completely, also depending on who wins the war.
Yeah.
That's
it's
always
true. It's true. Yeah, it's a huge mystery box, Sudan. That's the only country that I have left that's really where I have no perspective right now. Because if North Korea opens up in December, it's like, fine, okay, I can do all four in theory, except Sudan.
Yeah.
So that's really difficult. So there you go. That was an overview of all the countries that I'm missing.
Yeah.
So what does it define visiting a country that's hard to visit? Like, what makes a country hard to visit versus easy to visit?
Do you mean hard to get into, or actually like, you can step over the border and then you're like lost?
Exactly. There's like two things.
It's two things, right? For example, like hard to visit
there's
can also
accessibility.
Exactly.
And there's the danger or things that can happen in a country. That's not really accessible within the country.
Yeah, because now we've mostly talked about how hard it is to get into the countries, but you don't know what happens as soon as you land in Mali.
Yeah.
Also, places like, what are like really dangerous, like PNG, for example?
Papua New Guinea.
And then you have the hard countries to get into, like Yemen, for example, is kind of impossible to get a proper visa.
Yeah.
I feel like, Syria, we tried, do you remember before we went, we actually tried to call the Syrian embassy?
Yeah. I sent a visa application for me and my friend Jan to go to Syria, and we sent it to the embassy in Berlin, and they never replied. They were on the phone, they were like, yeah, send your documents.
Oh, they answered you on the phone?
Yeah.
Because I called
nothing ever happened. We sent in our documents, like the whole forms with photos and everything. So accessibility-wise, those countries are really hard. With Yemen, you're more talking about like the western part of Yemen, right?
Yes, of course.
So Sana'a, which is
impossible.
But
also South Yemen was like through the embassy, it's kind of impossible.
Yeah, through an embassy, it's impossible. You have to have a tour.
Yeah, you have to know someone that knows how to do it.
Yeah. Just to mention it, we have just created a company together in Sharjah here in the United Arab Emirates. It's called Every Country Tours, where we focus on those hard places to visit.
Exactly.
So if you, for example, want to visit Afghanistan, Yemen, those kind of places,
we can help
reliable guides, then you can contact us, and we'll organize your trip basically. And we work with lots of local guides.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, things can always happen. It's Yemen, it's Afghanistan, you know, but you really minimize the risk by working with reliable guides.
That is true, and it's just like all the organizational difficulty is just gone, because we went with the people that we actually refer now. Yeah. So I've never had a negative experience with them. I haven't
It's
heard
idiot-proof, basically.
It's idiot-proof because we're idiots and it's proof.
We're complete idiots. Sometimes we show up in countries. Funny story. I was with Jan in Iraq. We landed there. They were like, yeah, please pay your visa. We're like, can we pay with Amex? Like, do you take credit card? They were like, no, where's the cash? US dollars, habibi. And then they had to take us like outside of the airport to go to an ATM we didn't have any cash, We're complete idiots. So if we can visit every country, you can too.
That is true.
Literally.
Yeah. It's just a matter of research, honestly. Like also the tours that we refer, to be honest, you can do them on your own. You can organize it yourself. It's just a lot of work, and we were lucky to have people refer people to us, through WhatsApp groups and whatever, sometimes Facebook groups, or just friends that say, oh, I went to Yemen with this guy, please, here's his number. But if you don't have these, let's say, privileges or the network, It's just really, really hard to get to Yemen, for example, Syria also.
Yeah.
No, Syria is easy with tours. That's true, but
One thing that I find really difficult is when you visit, for example, a lot of African countries and you
Yes.
pay for your visa on arrival, a lot of times you're asked, okay, now send 350 euros to this random person in Nigeria for your visa on arrival. And you're like, literally, Revolut sends you like a notification like, are you sure you want to do that? Do you know this person? Click here to confirm that you know this person.
you don't know the person.
And you're like, and then a lot of people get afraid and they're like, I'm not sure if it's legit, and then they don't do it. It happened to me as well in the past, where I was like, well, I could do it now. I could visit Nigeria, but I'm not sure if it's legit. I might just lose 400 euros. He's happy having 400 euros. There's no way I can get my money back,
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are afraid of these kind of processes,
Right.
So it really helps to work with reliable people. I don't really need much social proof because people follow me, they know who I am, I have something to lose in that sense.
Yeah.
If I promote scammers, it's not going to be good for my
No,
image,
that
for
is
my
true,
social
that is
media.
true.
No. So we're like reliable people, and obviously people trust us as well. So those kind of tours, it definitely helps having this like trustworthiness.
Of course,
So
of
you
course.
don't have to
Yeah.
send money to some random people that you don't know. You just pay for it with your card. And I feel like more often than not, people are really legit and they're trying. But, but you don't have this payment infrastructure.
Exactly.
You don't have this like, send it to me like here, send it to me via wire transfer. Or
Yeah, Western Union is the most.
Western Union is the common one, And then I don't know if you guys use Western Union a lot, but for me it was really new.
No,
It's
for me
like
too.
putting in his details and like I'm like, okay, but where do I see a confirmation or something? And it's like he just goes to the office and gets his money. I'm like, whoa, this is like so old school in a way, an old school way of sending money. So for me, I really struggled with it, with this idea of sending money to people that I don't know, and with us, I guess it's a little bit more trustworthy, and it's amazing for the guides as well. Just now I was messaging with a Congo guy who I referred a friend to as well.
Nice.
And he was so happy. He was like, oh, thank you so much, like I'm so grateful.
It's true because
that
these
you referred
people,
to me.
they live in countries which are, we work with people in countries that are, hard to live in also, not only hard to visit, but also hard to live in. So they are really happy when people from other countries come and just give them work basically. And all of them are people that we personally know, I think. Is there anyone that we haven't personally met? The guy from Afghanistan, but it was, he was referred from a close friend of ours. But it's all people that we have made our own experiences with or have close friends that have made their own experiences with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really a win-win for everyone. I'm happy it exists now because.
And again, we're not saying you have to book your travels through us. You can do all of this yourself.
Yeah,
you can literally do all of this yourself, do all your research, and we've done it a lot of times. Just doing our own research, but it's not easy. For me, it's basically a full-time job organizing my travels to every country in the world. It's insane. It's a lot of planning. So yeah, it just helps sometimes to have someone who helps you with it. Anyway, so I think that's about it for today, no?
Yeah.
It was a fun first episode, honestly.
It
Amazing.
was. So we have a few
I am very nervous. It was my first podcast, honestly.
As a host,
Did you like it? Did you like it or not? Do you think
Let us know.
Do you think we did a good job or not?
I think it was valuable information. I don't know about the entertainment factor, maybe. That's what they have to evaluate for us. But I think
we're idiots. We're not here for entertainment. People like us because we give them information, no?
I think it's a mix. I think I'm very entertaining. You not. No, I don't know. It depends, but it's.
I think I look hot. I think that's why people are here.
Didn't someone ask? What was the question?
Oh, this is the funniest thing. I asked on Instagram, which topics do you want us to cover in our podcast?
Well, I think I wrote it down here.
And someone wrote down, how do you manage to stay looking so cute while traveling?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I felt so flattered. No, all my followers, they're amazing.
All of them.
All of them. I do get a lot of hate as well on Instagram, because I post those really engaging like videos of like, oh, I'm just here. People are always like, oh, you're just there, you take a 30-second video and then you don't talk about it anymore. It's not really in depth, but that's the stuff that really blows up.
That is true.
That through the podcast and stuff, that it's a bit more as well on the personal level.
That is true. And also I have one friend that asked me if you actually talk or what? How do you talk in person? You know, do you actually talk like the video, like you do in the videos? You know, and then I told you today when another friend of mine, she actually just told me that you actually always sound like you're in an advertisement. You know, that you always sound like you're just recording a video.
Do I have the influencer accent? Guys,
it's so funny.
we're here right now recording a podcast.
So just so you know, he actually talks like that in real life.
That's not true.
I think 80% kind of.
True. If you talk that if you mean that I just talk very clearly, very nicely, and very understandably, like it's very eloquent, isn't it? Very demure.
Very mindful.
Very mindful, very demure. Yeah, thank you. I'll take it as a compliment.
Yeah,
it means I'm very understandable and people understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
You know, if I'm talking like I'm in an advertisement, that's amazing.
That's good. That's good.
That's great, guys. Well, I think that's the stuff that you need to be a podcast host.
Probably.
Which I now am. In our new flat here in Dubai.
In our new flat in Dubai,
Our new base.
Right. Did we even mention this?
We're here in our flat.
In our new apartment in Dubai.
This is our setup. It's crazy.
No longer Germany.
Anyway, this is it for today. We don't want to keep you guys for longer. This was amazing. This was a first fun episode. And if you have any suggestions for new podcast episodes, for things that you want us to talk about,
or also people that you want to have on, honestly, we
can also have guests.
Yes. We already have a list.
We don't even have 2 proper microphones, Philipp.
Actually, I have a third lavalier microphone like that. You know,
wow.
We're gonna get a new microphone.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. The quality is gonna improve. Everything is going to improve with time. This was our first episode, so please don't be too harsh on us.
Right. And it was a first try. You know, it was the first draft. We never stopped recording.
Literally. Maybe the camera didn't even film.
Maybe it didn't. Let me check.
Okay.
Camera's still recording. That's good.
So thank you guys so much for watching. This was the Every Country Podcast with Philipp Bühl and Luca Pferdmenges.
Number 1.
Episode number 1. We'll see you in the second episode.
Oh, we will. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.